How do? Guess who? On the bench today, I got this old friend. Hang on, let me show you. It's the nylon acoustic instrument that I made quite early on, after the long neck banjo. And I changed it by putting these nylon strings on, some of which are very thick. And you know, I have to say it didn't sound quite as good as it did with a standard set of classical nylon strings on it, but it certainly sounded different. It was like an upright bass and Spanish guitar all in one. Quite a lot of fun, but I've got a problem, and I'll show you. These type of machine heads, they're the open geared sort, and they have these plastic coated shafts on them that are actually designed for classical guitars, but are actually designed to go through a gap in the middle of the headstock and into the middle rail. Hang on, I can probably show you that. This is the machine head I'm talking about, and you can see how that shaft is meant to go through and into the middle, I'm going to call it rail, middle rail, and not just stick up through the headstock in the fashion that I did it in. Okay, so it seemed like a nice idea, and the reason why I used these was because the hole that you have in them has by far the biggest hole in it, which was more likely to be able to accommodate the sheer girth of my E string. So what happened was, as you tighten them, and in fact it wasn't that noticeable when it had more normal strings on it, but as you tighten them, they foul on the headstock, they get pulled, and so there's friction as you try and turn this shaft with this tiny little button, yeah, they start to snap. I don't know if you can see that one, big split down there, and these ones had already gone, and I'd replaced them already. So the plastic button type of, what are you going to call that, string winder, I don't know what the names of these parts are, sorry about that, you'll not learn anything here. Well, you might. Oh, okay. Yeah, so anyway, the plastic buttons can't take the strain, and they end up snapping and just going round and round and not turning this shaft, thereby not turning the gears anymore. And it was okay at first because I just ended up tuning deeper and deeper and deeper, but now so many of them gone, you can't get it in tune at all anymore, and it's a shame because it's a fun instrument to play, really. And so I have a cunning plan for dealing with this. I can't do anything about the design, it's too late now, really. So I'm going to live with this style, but I'm going to replace the shaft here, these. I'm hoping it's all tickety-boo, the gearing's all the same, and oh, I'm going to need some scissors. Alright. Forget my own strength. Okay, so look at that, all lovely and shiny. Righty-ho, so I guess the first thing to do is to loosen off the tension on these strings as well as is possible. That one will go. Screw out. You've got to take the cog off, give a bit of a wiggle, in order then to get these shafts out, buttons out. Get that one off there. So I'm going to try and use the original screws and cogs and everything. I really just want to rub this bit here. You know, you've seen. Get on with it. Get on with it, bimbo. So all I should have to do, somehow, stick that in there. So far so good. Feels a little loose. Stick the cog back on again. And stick the screw back in. Now, gently does it so as not to cross thread the screw. Usually going backwards first before charging in is a good idea. Don't go too tight. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, I'm chuffed with that. I mean, I don't even really have to take the strings off. Just have to make sure that I can release the tension a bit. Right, well, I think you've seen the principle. I think I'll spare you me having to do the lot. Well, that's one side. Now, on to t'other. Oh, got that off alright anyway. They're not great quality, but they probably would have done had the machine head not been under such strain. I've not really used them for their purpose. Well, I've used them for their purpose, but not in the way intended. So, I'm replacing the shaft with a new shaft and putting the original bits and pieces back on again. Just badly. You can't really see this anyway. You just take my word for it. Go make a cup of tea or something. That's it. Pop back in a while. Right, next one. I've completely run out of ideas for where I would have hidden my string winder, so I'm going to have to do it manually using these lovely new machine heads of mine. Now, all lovely renewed really, so I'm going to give it a go. I think I'll spare you that as well, and then perhaps I'll give it a quick strum just to demonstrate that it's all working well. So I'll leave that there.